What's up, gamers? It's been a wild week of GenCon and traveling for me, but I want to get caught up on the news as soon as humanly possible. Today will be the first half of that, with another news video coming quickly on its heels. So sit back, relax, and let's get through some news. Live on Crowdfunding now, on GameFound we have the Dungeon Twister 20th Anniversary Edition reprint, and the Cats of Mont Saint-Michel. Now let's get to that news. First off, GenCon managed to sell out on all days of the convention this year. Over 71,000 gamers bought badges and flooded the halls of the Indiana Convention Center. Promos were sold out left and right, and the mass of people made it even hard to navigate at times. But GenCon was a huge success and a great celebration of D&D's 50th anniversary this year. If you want a rundown of my time there, keep an eye out for a recap video coming up soon. GenCon will return from July 31st to August 3rd of 2025. Digital proofs are in for The Last Spell. They made some slight naming changes to better align with the video game, but overall the proofs are looking pretty good for such a large project. They also are sharing a first glimpse at the first batch of miniatures for the project that'll be test printed soon. More to come. Maladum Dungeons of Enveron should start hitting doorsteps soon. The Asian hub is getting ready to send out orders. The Australian hub containers have arrived and should be shipping soon. For everywhere else, the games are on the water, with the terrain perhaps arriving just a tad earlier than the games itself. French translations are approved and production is underway. German and Spanish files are in pre-production. They have produced a video guide to help you assemble the terrain quickly. It's not quite in the finished form yet, but it's available for viewing. The Maladum character editor is now available on their site, with a map editor soon to follow. Game design, content development, playtesting, support media, and product engineering, among other tasks, are all underway for Spiritfire. Being a former graphics design studio, visual language is among their core tenets, and it infinitely iterated on. They gave us a few examples of how components are evolving for the game. Card slot capacity has been reduced from 10 to 8. Playtesting is ramping up, and the dashboards and mats are getting layout refinements. The playmat samples look pristine, and the box designs are shaping up nicely. As tutorial and book development continues, it doesn't seem that there are any changes to the timeline for the project. Production of the miniatures for Conan Red Nails expansion is progressing at a good pace. Looks like the box designs are being finalized as well. This update, they've included a primer for Conan the Hyborian Age RPG. Hexplore Fall of the Ancients sits at 99% fulfilled, with a VFI update and a few packages in Europe pending. Let them know if you haven't received your copy yet. Also, the Mountains of Gadai Pledge Manager will be opening this week. A quick shipping update for Trudvang Legends shows the second wave fulfillment complete for the Australian and Asian hubs. The Europe hubs containers are on the way and should arrive around August the 21st. In the UK, containers are being booked, and for the US, Canada, and rest of the world, containers are being loaded and booked. Estimates remain around mid-September. Estimated delivery for Arydia remains in the late fall timeline. The card index boxes present a special challenge in the assembly step. They're attempting to get 1,296 cards, which were split into decks of 54, into these boxes in specific order so that all players will need to do is add dividers to start to play. The miniatures are rolling off the assembly line and getting a good bath before making their way into the boxes, and a focus of quality control has become making sure that all heads will fit all the bodies in the miniatures, using a specialized tool developed for this purpose. Finally, the rulebook is ready for your viewing pleasure. Another semi-bleak update for Forsaken. Sadly, IP disputes continue, but they assure backers they are 100% committed to filling this project. Illness kept them from appearing and demoing at GenCon this year. They'll be making up for missed demos by holding them on Tabletop Simulator in the coming months. I bet you can't guess the news for Stormsunder testing. Go on, let's all say it together. Testing is ongoing for Stormsunder's Heirs of Ruin. They're wrapping up testing of the stretch goals and campaigns, and they hope to be turning eyes to Act 5 late August. The July update goes over encounter-specific adversaries and how their variety was increased to avoid repetition. Production of ISS Vanguard language editions has begun. After wrapping up the external testing, they pushed the button and the factory sprung to life. The application has been updated with Spanish, French, German, and Polish languages. The Italian language update should be ready mid-August. Delivery updates for the Relay Rising portion of the Cthulhu Death May Die Fear of the Unknown show Asia and Australia complete. Latin American packages all being dispatched. US final packages arriving at the hub to be delivered on August 12th. Canada's container arriving around the 11th and hitting the EU hub between the 3rd and the 10th. Deliveries of everything else are starting to dispatch, with China and Indonesia starting freight next week, and the first containers for Canada already being picked up. Shipping of Primal The Awakening continues, with the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand all officially complete. The Europe hub at 90% and Asian hub sitting around 50%. Brazilian shipments are causing an extra challenge and are being reshipped at this time and expected to clear customs. Sleeve bundles are being shipped separately and will hopefully be there soon. They tease a special announcement coming soon regarding the future of Primal and Reggie games. All I can say is that I saw at GenCon there would be a reprint of Primal coming soon. Nova Aetus Renaissance gives us a closer look at the contents of Ashes issues 6 through 9. Issue 6 will contain the Cryomancer, who can be used for the Black Rose Wars Rebirth and Runar. Ashes 7 is dedicated to the Requiem Downfall of Magic, complete with Cosma, who crosses over with Rebirth. Ashes issue 8 contains Fabio, a new atypical hero for the Requiem Downfall of Magic and Rebirth. And finally, there's Ashes 9 with the amazing Razvan, who can be used for NAR and Rebirth. They also give a peek at the playmat and the art book. There are two big Sea of Legends projects in the works. First, an indie video game, CRPG, in the vein of Sid Meier's Pirates, will be made by the team that fashioned the amazing Shadow Returns Hong Kong, and Battletech. It'll be exciting to see what they do with the Sea of Legends universe. You'll also get a chance to get a deeper dive into the setting with a 5e supplement that will be kickstarted sometime after the CRPG. Middara had a great showing of the full set of Wave 2 miniatures at GenCon, as well as hosting events for the new bounty pack that will hopefully be available soon, the Fury of Nature. They also reiterated that no products are ever exclusive to conventions and they will all be made available to everyone. The Fury of Nature is a mundane tier bounty that includes a 36-page book, 1 intelligent combat card, and 1 initiative card, and requires Act 1 to play. As a reminder, they'll be opening pre-orders one more time late this summer for Wave 2 content. Lupercalia 2022 items are being shipped now. In the US, they should be done in the next few weeks. For Australia and Asia, they're on boats to the local warehouses. EU orders will be picked up from the States. They hope to have everything out by the end of August. They're starting to assemble a lore codex, the Aeonian Codex, for those looking for a deeper dive into the lore and world building. The update goes on to give a spotlight to the Mana Seducer and the Post-Human Assassin, a refresher on the Obscuring rules, and a rundown of the Ghost Slinger, an elite member of Lurid. Kingdom Death Monster showed up at GenCon in a big way. With all the usual fanfare and a mile-long line to get merch, Kingdom Death Monster dominated their side of the hall. On offer was the Biomech Butcher, which was sold out long before we were able to make it through the 2+ hour line. Development took a back seat to GenCon this month, but some movement has been seen. That being said, the Paper Factory being backed up and long shipping times may put the next expansions a bit further out than we would like. On the simulator front, more automation is being added to make the experience more convenient. Fulfillment of the language versions of Tamashii, Chronicle of Ascent is beginning. Shipping is happening via train to Poland to ensure pledges arrive faster. Backers of language versions should start seeing their pledges around the second part of August. And that's going to be a wrap, folks. I have way more news than I could comfortably fit in a single video, so another is already underway. I'm also going to do a personal recap of my GenCon experience, complete with news, planning tips, and more. As always, if you like this kind of content and you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so and helping our channel grow. Thanks to everyone watching, commenting, and supporting the channel. Have a great week and be safe.